Okay, here we go again. Video 9? I lose track. Okay, so here's where we left off. Now, when we zoom to everything, it keeps it small because I got this tall line and got these parts that are stuck up way too high. So let me just go ahead and let me just delete this. I don't really need it. Okay, and I'm going to redraw it. Edge cut layer. I'm going to step my grid back to 1/10 of an inch. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to start, you know, I can tell exactly where I'm at here because that's 1/10 of an inch. Okay, so I'll go, oops. I don't want to delete that. I want to draw. So I want that with edge cuts. Okay, so there. And it's telling me how far I'm going. I'm going to shoot for, let's just go for the 1.4 by 1.4. That would be nice. I know that conflicts with that part there. Okay. So we've got that. These parts all need to fit inside this space. I think we can do that. Let me, well, obviously that connector's got to move. And if I leave this in this format, I can move it down. Let me just okay. I don't know why it does. It allows all sorts of snaps things. Let me just bring it down to here. Yes, I'm on top of another part. Let me move grid back to normal. Grid 1 mil. Okay, so now this guy can get moved. And I'm going to move him down a little bit too far. And then this guy can move also. Now, let's see. Before I move him, let me look at this a little closer. So I've got a trace that needs to go to there. I've got a ground line that goes there. This ground really should go all the way up. So let me do that. If I just say, okay, this is fine, we're going to run our micro 4/3 USB connector there. Let me go back to trace that, and I want it biggest, 24 mils. And I'm just going to come up here, and I'm just going to take it right on up to that. Okay, and there. Now, it won't let me draw this trace. These pads are so close together, 24 mils, I can't even do it. I think 12 mils will work. Oops. Come on now. Trace that to there. Okay. The reason is because when you expand out at 24 mils, it tries to go 12 mils out, and that it violates the space of the next one. So that just can't make it. Okay, so let me go back to 24. Let me fill in these other ones. Okay. We've got a ground pin here. You know, that really big trace doesn't fit real well on some of the ICs, so we'll just do that. Okay, so that takes us down to 43 left. That's doing really well. Now I've got the tough ones that I really want to take care of are the pins 5 and 6 go to the USB connector. And that's right there. You know, if I use vias, I can do that without causing too much grief. So if I come back and, again, there's signals, so I can be really small. Let's go back to 6. So if I go to 3 and I just put a via right there, because I know I'm going to cross these other traces, and I'm just going to come in, you know, I can go underneath a trace. That doesn't cause me any grief. Let's go down here. And I need to come out to a via. And it will, don't put the vias on the pads. I know it'll let you, but that's kind of a bad idea. So I'm just going to come out just far enough, and then I'm going to come back. Okay. Now this guy has to go too. Does it cross? Well, let me just bring it down and see what happens. So if I'll take this one, actually I can make it on either side of the blue line. So which side do I want it to be on? Let me just bring it up this way. So I'll just bring it out here to a via. And I'm going to come right back. And I'm going to put a via there. Now this guy here, this last pad here is actually this diode for regulating. Now I don't want to put any parts really close to this the micro four thirds connector or the USB connector, because you know there's always problems with it shorting and I have to take them off. So I don't want really any parts too close to that. So let's see. I need these two wires come out. The 5 volts still comes out. Well, the 5 volts still has to come up. And I'm going to run that all the way up. Let me zoom out for a second here. Now, before I get too carried away, I do want to fix the board a little bit. I'd like the edges to be, the corners to be round, not sharp. So what I'm going to do is, you know, since I really think I could get everything to fit in here, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. And I'll delete a trace. I'm going to delete the edge of the board there. I know it needs to go between these 2 points. So let me draw it again. Edge cuts. Let me set my snap back to a 1/10 of an inch and zoom in. But instead of starting right there, I'm going to start 1 click down. So 1/10 of an inch down. And instead of ending there, I'm going to end 1 up. Now, I'm going to delete this trace too. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start 1 over, end 1 short. Kill it. Delete this trace. Oops. Oh, that needs to be deleted too. How do I delete that? Does it? Okay. Back to delete. Okay. That, we're still edge cuts. Start 1 short. End 1 short. Escape key to stop it. Delete that guy. 1 more. Stop 1, start 1. Okay, so now I don't end anything. We've got this arc. And I always get this wrong the first time, but maybe I'll get lucky. Click on the arc, click on the radius, which is 1 in and 1 down. Click on the start, and then click on the end. You know, that's counterclockwise. That isn't what I want. Let me go the other way. Click here, start here, in there. Okay. Let me do another one. Okay. Here. And okay, let's see here. Start here, in there. Oh, cut that backwards again. Arc. And the last one. For some reason, let's try this again. Okay, so now our board looks like we want it to. It is now curved corners. So okay, from here, everything's got to fit. But I mean, we've got room. So now, let's see here. Let me bring this diode. Oh, my grid's still set large. Back down to 1 mil. And zoom in a little bit. Now this diode needs to go in here. And I'm just going to put it right about there. Now that's where we get our 5 volts. So our biggest trace, how big can we get off this thing? I think we can get a 12 mil. The 5 volts comes in on this pin here. So there's where it goes. And now I want the other side to be the main 5 volt bus. So it's going to come out, it's going to be heavy. We can make this as big as we want. Okay, so I'm going to do a via because I want it on the other side. And then that goes all the way. I don't want you to bypass that. I want to go right on the edge here. Okay. So there's 5 volts going all the way down. And it goes around, feeds everything we need to go to 5 volts. And there's the 2 servos. Everything's fine. Now I need to have these 2 guys in the right spot. So I've got options here. These have to connect to there, and they also need to connect to some resistors. So let's bring those 2 resistors down a little bit. And we can bring this guy down too. Oops. Oh, I've got a 5 volt line that needs to connect still. Okay. It doesn't take a lot of power, but this is all taken care of in here. Well, I need that. Well, that could be red. Let me fix this one. This cap it's overlapping in the courtyard. This will give me an error. So let me move this. It's lucky it's easy. I'm going to move it over here a little more. Okay, so now I'm at 24 mils. It's big. I can do this though. Okay, there's that one. Let me go back up to, I'm going to do 12 mil and we'll see if we can make everything fit. I don't know if it will or not. Okay, now down to 38. These 2 here have to get moved, so these guys move. Move. Oh, come on now. And I could put... I'm trying to stay out of the way of the one thing, so maybe this isn't so bad. Okay, so those 2 need to connect. And I got to be careful because I got to get this 5 volts to where it needs to go. And I can't get across these very easy. Well, maybe I can. So let's try this. That can go down to... This one can come possibly through. Okay, so the only thing left that's really a pain is the 5 volt line. So let me grab that one. Where's the nearest 5 volts? That's down there. You know, that's not too bad. I can get to it with the... You know, I got to watch out for these 2 lines here, so we don't want to kill those. So I need those to come in yet. And those need there. Those will be vias probably to get to blues, to get up to the... Oh no, that's got some ICs to go up to. Okay. So before I do any of that, I need to figure out if I can get these two in the 5-volt line. Let's take... let's see if I can get this. Not as clean as I want, but let me do at least a 12. Up, via, again I'm going to be via, oops. Haven't got quite enough room for the via there. I could certainly move those traces. Let me start on the blue side and put a via. Oh, I can't. So I need to move those two traces. Okay. So there's plenty of room. You know, maybe I'll do that differently. Let me just delete those back out. And let me just bring down 6 mil traces. Oh, let me get rid of that too for now. Okay. We'll bring down some traces. 6 mil, red, fine. Okay, this one. Nothing else needs to come off of there, so we can just basically... come down to here. So now I can delete these guys. Now I can put my 20 mil trace in for power. From here, via. So now we're blue, but now we got a clear shot. Okay. So now we can delete this one, that one, that one, those little pieces, and I can come down with a blue trace at 6 mils. Oops. Tell it I want to do a trace. Okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So now we've got the USB connections on in. Everything's looking good. I've still got these two guys to connect up to the RX and TX. Not too bad. I think we can do that without a whole lot of pain. I've got to watch out for this one wire here that has to come up. But we're doing really well. We're down to 33 traces. So let's stop it here and we'll go on.